Hello friends, in this video I am going to teach you about what is the difference between resistor and transistor. These two are the very important components in every electronic and electrical circuits. In this video I am going to teach you about what are the main differences between these two, that is the resistor and the transistor. First let's see some of the important and very main differences between these two components. Here see first one is a resistor and second one is transistor. We know a resistor is a passive component whereas the transistor is a active component. So, simply I differentiate the passive and active components. Like a passive component is the component which absorbs the energy from the circuit, and the active component is the component which delivers the power to the circuit. This is the difference between the active and the passive components. We know resistor always absorbs voltage, or it acts as always a load, so it acts as a passive component. So the first point is the resistor is a passive component, whereas transistor is always used to deliver the power to the circuit. In so many cases a transistor act as a power sources also, like current source and voltage source, so we can call transistor as a active component. That is here see transistor is an active component. Next point is it resists the flow of current. As the name indicates resistor, it means it resists the flow of current. It opposes the flow of current. It don't allows the current flow highly. It opposes the flow of current. Whereas the transistor used for switching and amplifier applications in electronic signals. Okay. Whereas the transistor is mainly used for switching purpose and also used for amplifying purpose. Okay. It does not oppose the flow of current. And coming to third difference, that is it converts the electrical energy into heat energy. How it converts the electrical energy into heat energy means whenever the current flowing through the resistor, there is a voltage drop across the resistor. Okay, every resistor has its own voltage drop according to the resistance of the resistor. Whenever the voltage dropped across the resistor, then it will generate a heat across the resistor. That means here the electronic energy or electrical energy converted into heat energy, whereas in the case of transistor it does not convert the energy. That means it does not convert electrical energy to some other forms like heat energy or any energy. Okay, it does not convert the electrical energy. Next point is it makes a huge power loss. Remember this, it makes a huge power loss. Why it makes huge power loss means whenever we use that resistor in our circuit, then there is a voltage drop. Voltage drop is nothing but voltage directly proportional to the power. Okay, that means power also lost. So we can call at resistors we have power loss. But when coming to the transistor, it creates a very low power loss. Ideally, the power loss of a transistor is zero, but practically every component has its own power loss based on its properties. So, transistor is having very low power loss according to its behavior and characteristics. And the next point is resistor makes voltage drop. I already told you every resistor is having its own voltage drop according to the value of the resistance. It drops the voltage across the terminals of the resistor. That means every resistor has its voltage drop, and ideally it does not make any power loss. We know transistor does not have any voltage drop or any current drop. That means here we doesn't have any power loss. And coming to the fifth point, that is there is no biasing required for the resistor. If we want to operate the resistor, then there is no need of biasing. That means here the two terminals of the resistor are interchangeable. We can interchangeably use the resistors. That is the terminals of the resistors are interchangeable. Here there is no biasing required. We no need any external biasing circuit for operating resistor. But whenever we want to use transistor, there is biasing required. Biasing is required for transistor in order to operate as a switch or an amplifier. Okay, and the last point is act well with both AC and DC power supply. It is made for both. Transistor is made for both DC and AC power supply. That means sorry, not a transistor, resistor. That means resistor used in both electrical and electronic components. That's why it can capable of handling both AC and DC powers, whereas transistor it perform well with DC power supply. That means we know electronic components only operates on DC. That means here transistor is a pure electronic component, whereas resistor is used in both electronics as well as electricals. So that's why resistor operates on both AC and DC, whereas transistor operates on own DC power supply. This is about the difference between the resistor and transistor. I hope you understood this topic. Thank you. Thank you for watching this video.